All verse rising my soul family. Peace to the gods, stars, and goddesses. This will and shall be a powerful Uncle Life spiritual message. So tap in. So MK Ultra is founded by drugs and alcohol. This is all factual because alcohol is made from the human slaves and animal slaves that the reptilian demon realm alien slave owners have captured to experiment on in underground caves. So alcohol has a lot of human blood and animal blood in it. And when it comes to drugs and alcohol, these reptilian slave owner demons that run assimilation on planet Earth, they have indoctrinated a lot of human masses to, follow the religious cult of doing drugs and drinking alcohol, because that is a whole MK Ultra scam to take over humans and hijack and lowjack their DNA and their spiritual intelligence to be very unlogical and react out of MK Ultra control. Because when a lot of humans are doing drugs and they drinking alcohol, they are not themselves. Like, we know this to be factual. Like, MK Ultra is in a lot of drugs, from weed, vaping, shrooms, DMT, alcohol, the list goes on. And a lot of human masses, they don't realize that doing all these drugs is not going to help them tap in to be a more spiritually intelligent individual. Doing drugs and drinking alcohol actually weakens your spiritual intelligence. It weakens your intuition. That's why when a lot of people do drugs, they don't think very logical. You see what I'm saying? Like, because when people do drugs, like if they vape and they smoke any substances, they do shrooms, then they drink alcohol. People that do drugs, they say anything out of their mouths, and it doesn't make no logical sense. Versus a person who never done any form of drugs in their life. When people who never done drugs at all in their life, every time they talk, it makes logical sense. Versus a person who's been consuming too much alcohol and they smoke too much. Why do you think they had commercials out with Smokey the Bear saying to kids to not ever do drugs? Like, Smokey the Bear was telling individuals from right then and there in the commercials that these drugs, from smoking substances and alcohol, it kills your brain cells, it kills your spiritual intelligence. Look at how many biological relatives that you have seen in your life. Look at the difference between when they were children and babies versus how they were after they became teenagers and legal age adults. Like, a lot of your biological relatives, like when they had believed the indoctrination of doing drugs will enhance your spiritual intelligence, they became like the Walking Dead zombie. They became like a soulless vibrational NPC, just because they consume too much alcohol, they consume too much shrooms, they consume too much, like, cigarettes, weed, vaping. It's sad, soul family. It's sad, man. Like, there's a lot of people that I used to talk to, before they did drugs and everything, and then there's people I don't talk to no more after they did drugs. Like, they became a soulless vibrational NPC. And the thing is, these drugs, they really put a lot of humans under MK Ultra control to not be logical thinking individuals. Me, like, every time I went through depression, if I went through depression, what I would do, I would go get up and play some type of sports or do any type of fitness workout, whether it's at home or outside in nature. I didn't resort to doing shrooms or weed or alcohol. I never resort to drinking Patron or Hennessy or Hypnotic or any form of alcohol, because I know that alcohol has a lot of human blood and animal blood in it. So if I'm drinking human blood and animal blood that comes from alcohol, what do you think that does, soul family? What that does, that's weakening my spiritual intuition, my spiritual intelligence of all spiritual realms, to help me navigate through this simulation matrix. Because these reptilian demon slave owners, they don't want us humans to be spiritually intelligent. That's why they be pushing the agenda on humans, especially in North America, especially in Louisiana. Louisiana has the most alcoholics and drug heads of all regions on this earth. The research has proven this. So and most of the alcoholics and drug heads in Louisiana are melanated ethnicity people. And I'm gonna tell you this, like MK Ultra Control, man, that's put in drugs. That is the ultimate form of controlling humans, because these reptilian demon slave owners, they know that in order to control the way humans think, they must create drugs and alcohol to form MK Ultra Control. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm the only individual in my age group that's like from 17 through 29 that knows this, that alcohol and drugs is a form of MK Ultra Control to weaken the human masses. I'm the only person in my 20s from Generation Z that knows this in my biological and godfather side of the families. Like most of my biological relatives and godfather relatives that's like 17 through 29, they don't really have this information in North America like I do. Now, as far as the Generation Z people that's around my age group from 17 through 29 of Gen Z that grew up in the African and Caribbean countries, they comprehend where I'm coming from of not doing drugs, because obviously Generation Z people in African countries and the Caribbean countries, they know that, tapping in with nature and working out, doing fitness is the best way to keep your sanity and evolve your sanity. Not doing drugs, not drinking alcohol that's made with animal blood and human blood. Like, this is for real. Like, a lot of reptilian demon slave owners, they put animal and human blood in alcohol, and that's the reason why a lot of human masses like really took a decline, like for real. Like, a lot of you spiritual beings out there who don't do drugs, you don't drink alcohol, and you always keep up with your fitness exercises, and you eat healthy, and you also drink healthy too. So like, you spiritual beings that's like 17 through 29, just like myself, you you have witnessed to see like a sister or a cousin or a brother that might like, consume a lot of drugs or a lot of alcohol, and they haven't realized that they fell trapped to the reptilian slave owner demons MK Ultra Control that's placed in alcohol and drugs. And this is the information that a lot of people is not knowing on planet Earth. And of course, presidents and prime ministers and governments are not going to talk about that. But this is all I'm going to say about the MK Ultra Control. So for individuals out there, don't do drugs, don't drink alcohol. Alcohol is made with human blood and animal blood that the reptilian slave owners have took human slaves and animal slaves and experimented on them in underground caves to put human blood and animal blood in alcohol, and smoking shrooms and smoking weed and smoking cigarettes and vaping is not going to make you be more spiritually intelligent. Because when children are birthed, when individuals are birthed, they are in their baby and children forms. A lot of babies and children are much smarter than a lot of teenagers and legal age adults in their 20s, because a lot of children have not consumed a lot of alcohol and a lot of drugs. Like, and I'm telling you this, man, like, it's very sad to see how individuals who do drugs and they drink a lot of alcohol and they're under MK Ultra Control under these drugs, they were way more spiritually in tune as a baby and a child, versus the how when they fell victim and fell slave to drugs and alcohol, and they just became less spiritually intelligent.